Larry Elder, I think he's still running for president, but he's so low on the list. He's a Republican candidate for president. He's probably like 0.5% popularity. But anyway, I do follow him on Twitter, and he had some comments about LA. A group of people stormed Nordstrom's in LA. And remember, you guys, about maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, we talked about 50 Cent. 50 Cent tweeted talking about, oh, LA is done, is going to be mayhem. Or I think he didn't say LA, he said California, because California now have this no prosecuting law. You can steal so much money, up to so much money, and you won't get prosecuted. So these thieves said, oh, okay, let me go to these high-end stores like Nordstrom, and they go on these sprees, these shopping sprees that they just don't pay for anything. So this what happened. This what happened in the LA store. A bunch of mass individuals stealing bags. You see that Bottega sign. You know, Nordstrom's is really high end. And they came in and took a whole bunch of stuff. But let me just read this tweet from Larry Elder, and I agree with what he's saying. He says, the root cause of crime we are seeing across America is the epidemic of fatherlessness. 40% of American kids enter the world without a father in the home, married to their mother. The stats are clear. A child raised without a father is 5 times more likely to be poor and commit crime. I think it's higher than that. 9 times more likely to drop out of school, 20 times more likely to end up in jail. And I agree with him. This is a clearly breakdown of the family structure. What we're reaping now is clear and visible of, if you don't got a daddy, you probably gonna be in jail. You probably won't be able to read, and you probably gonna be in jail somewhere. And I'm surprised that we haven't put the 2 and 2 together. By now, we should have put that concept together, and we're reaping all these benefits of not having the daddy.
This was the scene at a Los Angeles Nordstrom Saturday, 4 p.m., when a group of more than 30 people rushed in and ransacked that store. Police say the suspects got away with nearly $100,000 worth of merchandise. 2024 GOP presidential candidate Larry Elder joins me now. Larry, it's always good to speak with you, sir. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. So what is your plan to combat the crime crisis that is happening in this country, in particular in places like LA, San Francisco, New York, and Chicago?
Well, first, let me apologize for the hoarseness of my voice. I'm told the only time a candidate doesn't lose his voice is if he's not working hard. As you can see, I am working hard. And the reason I am running, and the reason I'm asking people to go to my website, LarryElder.com, and contribute at least $1 so I can get to that 40,000, to get to that 40,000 individual donations to qualify for that first debate, is because the 10,000-pound elephant in the room that nobody's talking about, even on our side, is the real epidemic in America is not COVID. It's the epidemic of fatherlessness. 70% of black kids today enter the world without a father in the home, married to the mother, up from 25% back in 1965. 25% of white kids now enter the world without a father in the home, married to the mother. And the stats are clear. When you are raised without a dad, you're 5 times more likely to be poor and commit crime, 20 times more likely to end up in jail. Now, unless you're prepared to say black people are just genetically inclined to commit more crime, because the majority of these smash and grabs are committed by black people, you have to ask yourself, out of a population of 13%, half of the homicide victims in this country are black, almost all killed by other black people. 60% of the homicides, the shootings, and the robberies are committed by black people, again, often against other black people. A young black male is age 10 to 43 is 13 times more likely, I'm not making this up, more likely to be murdered than a young white man in the same demo. Unless you're prepared to say black people are just genetically inclined to commit more crime, you have to ask yourself what the devil is going on. And what the devil is going on is the epidemic of fatherlessness. We are now incentivizing women to marry the government and incentivizing men to abandon their financial and moral responsibility, and virtually nobody is talking about this. That's the genesis of all of this. If I were involved in some smash and grab like this, I would be more afraid about what my father would do to me than I would what the cops would do to me. These kids are afraid of neither because they don't have fathers in the home, and the cops are demoralized. They're pulling back. They're not engaging in proactive policing. As a result, there are thousands of what I call excess casualties that have taken place in city after city after city because the cops are not engaged in normal proactive policing, and morale is down, and as a result, manpower is down. And when you make it easier for a bad guy to steal, to do bad things, crime goes up. They may be criminals, but they're not stupid.
Los Angeles crime, the two R crimes up 2%, and robbery is up 4.4%, aggravated assault 2.2%, larceny is up 81%. New York, look at New York. Grand larceny up 20%, felony assaults 5%. San Francisco, homicide up 2%, 20%. Robbery and motor vehicle up 13%, almost 14%. That's just ridiculous. And it's crazy how you got two cities in LA or California, and they supposed to be like the free state, but it is the free state, free to do crime and free to do crime and free to so we could take your kids away because you don't agree with their sex change. Crime. This is what I want to point out. Remember, I told you Chicago, they don't reason why their motor vehicle theft is up 112% is because they don't prosecute kids. They got these things in place where kids are not prosecuted. And these are the kids, the people that's stealing your cars and your vehicles, they're kids, they're minors. So that's why it's up 112%. Total crime up 35%. I'm surprised they didn't put death toll because that's probably up. And it's sad. And it's all because of fatherless homes. That's the main reason. I mean, you might not like that reason, but that's the main reason why kids are acting crazy, because it's so much that a mama could do. But if you get in trouble with your dad, you got a daddy in your house, you not, like Larry Elder said, you're not scared of the police, you're scared of your daddy. Your daddy will literally put the fear of God in you. So you didn't do that kind of stuff. People didn't, they were actually scared of, okay, if I do this and I come home and my dad figure out or find out what I did, I'm going to be in a world of trouble. So we could say, oh, those statistics that Larry Elder pointed out, oh, those are race, you're being racial statistics, but they're true. You can't deny that, if you don't have a daddy, you're so many more times likely to end up in jail, to commit a crime. Black boys are maybe 10 to 20 times likely to be killed by another Black boy. And no one wants to talk about those statistics, especially on the left. They don't want to talk about that. They want you to think that white supremacy is out to get you. And Donald Trump. Donald Trump is actually Donald Trump's fault. It's Donald Trump's fault that your daddy ain't here. Let's just put it on Donald Trump. We're going to indict him for some other stuff that he had nothing to do with. So it's Donald Trump's fault that your daddy ain't here and that you committing all these crimes. Then in Ron DeSantis, we don't like him. So, I mean, we got to take accountability for some of the stuff that's going on in the Black community and that's going on in these major cities, that we voted these people in here, and we're ruining our own economy. We're ruining our own neighborhoods because we're voting people in here because we saying, oh, we don't need the police. But who you gonna call? If you had a store like that, this is a small jewelry store right here. If you had a store just like that, who you gonna call? Ghostbusters? Oh, they robbing me. Who you gonna call? You agreed to defund the police. Who you gonna call? So anyway, you guys let me know what you think.